Hi friends, today we will discuss Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats from an angle that most probably I think we haven't so far seen. Ode on a Grecian Urn. It's a Keatsian paradox. Images on the, why I am saying like this, because images on the urn, they are silent, they are still, they are frozen and lifeless. But at the same time, what we find is the ambience or the atmosphere is teeming with life. There is burning desire, mad pursuit, struggle to escape. There is wild ecstasy, called pastoral but wild ecstasy. That's what I am saying, that this is a paradox, a Keatsian paradox. The fair youth cannot leave his song, piping and piping and piping. You can't hear it, but see, I tell you, trees cannot shed their leaves and say bye to spring. Happy, happy boughs. Bold lovers winning near the goal, but they cannot kiss. There's eternal spring. The beloved, the lover cannot kiss. But at the same time, there's nothing to worry about, because you continue to love and she will be fair. She cannot fade. That's what I am saying. Did you see that contrast? One side it is frozen, there's no life, nothing of that sort. No emotion. But it is not, that is apparently. But what you find is the entire scene is teeming with life. The happy melodist is unwearied, forever piping songs. That's the thing. And piping songs new, but you cannot hear, because again there is another point. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Once you hear it, once this happens, then suppose all these things happen. Say for example, the trees shed their leaves and there is no, they say adieu, this bye to spring and all those things, then it is all over. But here what happens is, see, sometimes, of course, in a literary situation we cannot use this similarity, but even then, sometimes when I read this, the image that comes in front of me or in my mind is a pressure cooker about to whistle. A steaming pressure cooker, but about to whistle, but it doesn't do that. So such a situation is created here by the great romantic poet. Right? Romantic means John Keats in his Ode on a Grecian Urn. That's what I am saying, that this is a Keatsian paradox. The little town is empty, desolate, but potential. It has got the potential to take people inside. That's the thing. It has got the potential power. Space is there, plenty. As Keats tells us, breathing human passion. Once human passion is given release, then what will happen is high sorrowful, burning forehead and parching tongue. That's the result. That's why these images, they remain like that. That's why piping, singing, dancing, wild ecstasy, but we cannot hear that. You cannot experience it, because once experienced, what will happen? The result is this one. What? High sorrowful, burning forehead and a parching tongue. If the town is full, then after some day it will be empty and it is gone forever. But on the other hand, here what happens is you are always expecting. Our expectation, we have got a very rich expectation that the town, the desolate town will someday will be full, and also there will be sacrifice, there will be rejoicing, there will be wild ecstasy. If, on the other hand, breathing human passion, if these things happen, what will happen? I have already told you. A second point to note is, it is a consolation for a fleeting life, a transient life. People fated to live a transient life. This is a great consolation. That's why it says, when old age shall this generation waste, what will happen? Thou shalt remain in the midst of other woes, a friend to man. Other woes, a friend to man. So, art and artifacts, they are eternal friends of men. They give consolation to man. Aesthetic beauty, forever you can enjoy. Once it is experienced, then it is gone. Anything that has a beginning must have an end. So that is why that figures on the urn are frozen, yet active, as I told you. So art is always a consolation. Aesthetic beauty is always a consolation for human beings. Understand? Now once breathing human passion happens, then it will disappear. It won't be eternal. A third point is this: art is eternal, universal and true. That's what it is, Beauty is truth and truth beauty. That's all ye need to know. Ye know on earth and all ye need to know. See the logical progressions. Friend to man, and this is beauty. Actually, what do you mean by beauty? Beauty means anything that has no internal contradiction. That is beautiful. For example, what do you find? So it should be true. If something has to be beautiful, it has to be true. For example, we all, from time immemorial, we have been praising the charitable deed of Good Samaritan as a beautiful deed. And it is eternal, it remains eternal. Why? Because it is true. It is not anything for publicity, or it is not for to say that a person is good. It is intrinsically good. Or you can say the atoms are perfectly arranged in that particular event. That's why we say it is beautiful. So here, what happens is the great beauty of the urn. The great beauty of this Grecian urn. It is so beautiful that it is eternal. So anything that is beautiful is eternal. Art is beautiful, it is eternal and immortal. And they remain a friend to man. We have seen that if something happens, breathing human passion, what happens in labor, limbs, hands, mercy? So What ails thee, night terms? Alone and palely loitering, the sedges wither from the lake and no birds sing. And then, what does the night say? Starved lips and horrid. A horrid world, he says. Then, if a breathing passion, these things happen, the end will be starved lips and a horrid world. Both these poems were written in 1819. First one was, I think, written in, that is La Belle Dame Sans Mercy was the first. And this is the second one. So most probably, he had experienced what would happen if breathing human passion takes place. That would be the result of a disappointed, a depressed, a desolate night, the life. That would happen. So that should not, just passing, that should not happen. A beautiful thing should be, as Keats had stated in the Endymion, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So the urn is a thing of beauty, it is a joy forever, and it's a friend to man, and it is eternal, immortal art, and the artifacts are eternal, immortal. And at the same time, you should understand those things, images on the urn, they are probable improbabilities. If you look at the poem through the Aristotelian lens, that's what you find. Probable things are mortal, they will disappear. But probable improbabilities, that is the definition of art given by things that are not possible in the world are possible in art. That is probable improbability. Frozen lover but full of, teeming with life. A tree not shedding leaves, that is, it is impossible in the world outside, in our experiential world, but in the world of art it is quite possible. So all these figures you find on the urn, they are probable improbabilities, and they are images, or they are actualizations in art, and therefore they are immortal. Understand that? Now here you can say, I have summed up like this. I will read that for you. First one is a Keatsian paradox. Images on the urn are frozen, silent, still, and apparently lifeless, but they are teeming with life and burning desire, fully alive in their Arcadia, cold pastoral, yet potentially energetic and dynamic, a wild ecstasy. So this is the paradox. A wild ecstasy, a cold pastoral. Why? Because they are probable improbabilities or probable impossibilities, you can say. But in art, it is justified, emotionally justified, and in every sense, you can say, it is justified. Second point is an artistic response to an aging and wasting generation, or to a Grecian urn. The urn as a friend to man, a contrast between immortal art and transient human life. A reflection on art, time, and eternity. Second thing. And third one, artistic artifacts embody ideal and universal truths. And since such truth is timeless, art attains a form of immortality. That is the meaning of the last line. Beauty is truth, truth beauty. Means artistic artifacts are eternal, universal. See, that's what Shelley says, defense of poesy. In criticism you will find this mainly. This kind of assertions are there. And here you have it. Because artistic artifacts embody ideal and universal truth. This is what you find figures on the urn. And lastly, my point is, an Aristotelian reading, probable improbabilities, what is not possible in life is possible in art. Art presents universal truth. The images on the urn are probable improbabilities presenting universal truth. Universals tease us out of thought. That shows is that we cannot understand this. Universals tease us out of thought. Means they come before you, but as you try to catch it, try to understand it, they slip away. So that is epistemological limits of mortal man. The last two lines, epistemological limits of mortal man. Means you cannot, that's what it is, all ye know, all ye know, need to know. That's all. Don't probe deep into it. Why? Because artistic artifacts are true, they are beautiful, they are universal, they are immortal, they are eternal. That's the thing. So a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. That's what he says. The images on the urn, they tell us a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. Means our language. We have got limits. We have, as I have already said, epistemological limits. We have limits of appreciation. We have limits of understanding. We simply cannot find the relationship between cold pastoral and wild ecstasy. But on the other hand, what you have done, urn has done, you have a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. So our rhyme is secondary. Your tale, the images on the urn, they are universals and we cannot understand, so that it limits. We cannot express, there are no words for us to give full expression of what is going on the teeming life that is going on the urn. I hope that you have followed my argument. I will take 2 more lectures on Grecian Urn and in the near future. Till then, bye.